But let's do this first. An all-based care company is hosting a tea party cum recruitment drive today for more carers. Prestige are based in Moulton Park. They're on the lookout for staff as so many people have left the care sector as the job market has opened up, I guess, at the end of the COVID restrictions. Common reasons people leave, I understand, is that they can get more money elsewhere and they can have a less stressful life. It all makes sense, but it's a shame because we really need really brilliant people to be carers. Well, Vicky Greenshields is from the care company Prestige. She's hosting the party today, and I asked her a little bit about what they do and who they're hoping for.
We are a domiciliary care provider, so we provide staff to work in people's own homes, and we care for people with a variety of conditions, and right from babies to young children to adolescents, adults and the elderly. And we have, like the majority of social care workers, companies, we have struggled with recruitment, and we are in need of a good 2 or 3 full-time staff right now to fulfil our current care needs. But we also are contacted daily by people who want care, and we're unable to provide that care because we cannot recruit.
Right. That's very frustrating and and worrying, of course, for the people that need the care. Why can't you recruit? What's the stumbling block in getting new staff?
I think a lot of it is that social care isn't looked at as a very attractive profession for people to come into. I think a lot of people look down their noses at doing care work when actually it's very rewarding and very fulfilling. The image and the culture around social care is quite negative, and this past year or so has become more and more difficult to recruit, whether that's because of Brexit or COVID, and people just not wanting to work in care because it's one of those professions where nobody got a break for 2 years, and we're having to attract new people into the profession. And with the low pay and the fact that it doesn't look very glamorous and people don't think there's any kind of career progression, means that people don't really view it as a career option.
Well, let's take those 3 things in isolation. We'll take the pay, we'll take Brexit, and we'll take COVID. I imagine the strain on carers during COVID has been unimaginable. Has there been an exodus of staff who are just burnt out after 2 years of being so badly stretched?
Absolutely, 100%. We lost a lot of staff over this past probably 8-month period is when it's been really noticeable. People just were working 60, 70, 80 hours a week through COVID, not having any time off, people not booking holidays because they couldn't go anywhere, they couldn't do anything else, and working solidly. And they are just completely burnt out, and they've just decided to leave care, and they can go and work in a factory and have no responsibilities and not worry about taking their work home, worrying about whether they've given someone medication or not given them medication, and gone for a kind of less stressful life, if you like.
Yeah, well, it's understandable. So 80 hours a week during COVID, I presume that no care company could afford to pay a carer for 80 hours a week, so they must have been just giving up their own time because they were so passionate about what they do.
Yeah, this is you do it for the love of it, working in social care. It is a passion. Our staff were paid for it, but for the hours that they were working, but it is low pay and it's a lot of responsibility that's on their shoulders.
Is it impossible for you to up the pay? I mean, I'm just coming at this as someone that doesn't run a care company, but if people at the top of the company were earning slightly less, could you give more to the carers, or does it not work like that?
Yeah, and we've actually given 2 pay increments over this past 8 or 9 months. The trouble comes from the fact that people look at us as a private company and assume that all of our clients are private, and they're not. We do have local authority and CCG funded, so NHS funded clients, and their charge rates are set by them, and they're very low and they barely cover costs. So it's difficult then to actually pay our staff what they're worth, and they're worth a lot more than what care workers are paid.
So where could that extra money come from? If the government decided to allocate more money for CCGs for that purpose, could you up your pay? Is this a central government problem?
Absolutely, yes, most definitely. If it was taken more seriously from government with social care, they talk about all this funding that's being made available, but the majority of it goes to the NHS. It doesn't come to social care. They'll say it's for the NHS and social care, but we get such a small proportion of it.
Right, so money's going to hospitals, which of course we all support and we back, but not enough of it's being allocated for care companies going into people's homes and care homes indeed. So that's the financial side of things. Or I guess I could ask you how much people are paid. I mean, if I was doing a carer's job, what would my monthly salary be on average?
I couldn't tell you what was monthly. Our carers are on £10 an hour as their minimum rate, and then the weekends are slightly enhanced. But our staff work a variety of hours, so there isn't a kind of normal for our staff.
Right, okay. Let's deal with Brexit then. My understanding from lots of care companies I've spoken to, and indeed a number of other companies, is that the number of people from Eastern Europe who went home when the whatever you want to describe it, the Brexit rules changed or the hostile environment was created, they left a huge gap in the workforce that hasn't been filled by British people who may consider themselves to be above those kind of jobs. Is that the picture that you've seen?
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that. Lots of East Europeans who are here have gone home, and obviously it's not attracting those that were back to want to come to us. People don't want to come here, and like you say, they would normally have fulfilled these roles, and those who are here look down their noses at care work, so they're not coming into the industry to fill those gaps.
I mean, I'm going to be dispassionate for one moment, and it belies the way I truly feel about this, because, of course, like most people with a brain and a heart, I care passionately about the provision of care and the people that you look after. But you are looking for an unemployed people in the county who are willing to take less of a salary than they get in, I don't know, working in a warehouse for some other company or working in a supermarket, and they're willing to take that lesser salary because they care so much about other people. They care so much about the provision of this good, loving care that they're prepared to dedicate themselves to that vocation.
Absolutely. It is a passion, working in care. I've worked in care for over 20 years, and I honestly couldn't imagine working in any other kind of service or industry. If you're a kind and caring and compassionate person, then as soon as you do care work, you find that you couldn't work anywhere else. Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things, isn't it? If you can sit on your bed at night before you go to sleep and think to yourself, well, I've done a good job today, I've not done any harm, and I've helped some people. And in the case of your carers, they can presumably go to bed thinking, wow, I've possibly completely changed the course of someone's day and eventually the course of someone's life with the care that I've been giving. I can see why that would be so satisfying to do. Well, you told us about the bad points and you sold the good side of this. Let's get to the nuts and bolts of how someone can find you today and what they need to bring with them.
Okay, well, we are at the Moulton Park Business Centre at the Prestige office. If they give a little Google, they'll be able to find us, or they can give us a call and we can direct them in. If they call us on 01604 637 000, and we would welcome them in, and they can just have a chat with us if they want to, or if they want to bring in their CVs to drop off with us, that would be great too.
Vicky Greenshields, thank you for being there, and I truly hope that you find some brilliant team members today.
Thank you ever so much.
Vicky Greenshields from the care company Prestige. Well,